If you ask real photographers, they'll tell you that on-camera flash is a waste of time. The light's crappy and it just shows that you're an amateur photographer. I think that's rubbish. I love on-camera flash in all its permutations. That's a big word. I'm going to show you today in this video so many different ways to use on-camera flash, to manipulate your light, to harden your light, to soften the light, to change the direction of your on-camera flash. There's so many things we can do with on-camera flash, and you're going to learn them all today. Now, why would we want to use flash? We're out here on a reasonably bright day. It's fairly overcast today, but we've got plenty of natural light. The reason why we want to use flash is because we want to control the light. Using flash or any other artificial light means that you can control the light on your subject in relation to the background. You'll see how I do it and you'll see the difference that it makes. Now, before we start, I want to remind you of those two basic flash rules. The first one is that we need to keep our shutter speed below 1/200th of a second, or whatever the sync speed is, the flash synchronization speed for your camera. So keep it below that. We're not doing high-speed sync. We're not interested in high-speed sync. The second flash rule is that we need to use our camera settings to determine the exposure of our background. So our aperture shutter speed ISO gives us our background tone, and then our flash power gives us the light on our people. That's two different considerations every time we take a flash shot, and no matter what flash you're using or where you're using it, those two rules apply. I don't like using them rules, I call them guidelines, but that's the way you'll be able to control your flash. Camera settings determine your background, flash power determines the light on your person. All right, we'll get into it. Now, we're using a tripod today. I'm going to use a tripod for some of the shots, simply because it allows me to do these things more easily. I've got an assistant here, Steph's here to help me as well, and she'll be doing some stuff later on, but I want to show you how to do this stuff on your own, if possible. Okay, so I've got my shot framed up. First of all, I want to take a shot without the flash to determine my background exposure. So I just do that, take my shot, and that background is looking a little bit darker than I would normally shoot for a landscape, for instance, but that's what I want. I want my model to pop a little bit off that background, so I want it about one stop or half a stop darker than my model. Then I simply turn on my flash, and I can adjust my flash. I'll start with quarter power, because we all know that rule. If you're not sure, use 1/4. That's a rule I made up, but it works. Okay, here we go, 1/4, Kaylee, yep. Okay, there we go. That's looking good. Just double check my composition and my focus. Yeah, lovely. Okay, Kaylee, so what I want you to do is to maybe move your feet closer to the wall. Yeah, that's it. Maybe 1 foot up on the next step if you can. Yeah, that's it. Keep up nice and tall. And just turn your face this way. Lovely. Okay, here we go. Yep, eyes to the camera. Lovely. Okay, terrific. That's nice. That lighting's nice and it looks believable, but we can do so much more with that light. I'm not saying it's bad light, it's not. I would say probably 80% of the shots I've taken in my lifetime have been on camera flash, but we can do more with it, and that's what we're going to do today. The first way we're going to do it is use our reflector. We're going to aim our on-camera flash at this reflector that Steph's holding, and that's going to bounce back onto Kaylee as a soft light, because we know the larger the light source, the softer the light's going to be. So we're going to turn a light source that's this big into a light source that's this big, and that's going to make our light softer. We're going to lose a bit of light in the process because it's going to be absorbed by the reflector, and we're going to lose some in the environment. So I'm going to turn my flash up to maximum power. Okay, there we go, 1:1. So Steph, I want you to hold this here. Yep. That's it. The reason why I'm getting Steph to hold this flash up here is because we need to have that light coming down onto Kaylee. So she's holding it up high, the flash is going to fill up the reflector. We're going to move her back a little bit to allow that, and that light's going to reflect back onto Kaylee. Okay, so a little bit, yep, that's enough, that's good. Make sure that my flash is aimed at the reflector, and here we go. Okay, that light's much softer on Kaylee now. You can see the difference between the two. I'll put them up side by side so you can see. All we've done is increase the size of the light source. So I mentioned to you before, the only way that we can soften light is to increase the size of the light source. That's physics, that's science, that's fact. This is the size of a light source of a normal on-camera flash. If we stick this thing on it, it doesn't soften the light. It won't soften the light at all because this hasn't increased the size of the light source. So if you see somebody using this outdoors to soften their light down, just go over and give them a bit of a nudge and say, you don't know what you're doing. Don't do that because they'll get angry. But these things aren't made to soften light. All they're made for is to spread it out further, which is not going to do anything if you're outdoors. So don't bother purchasing one of these. If you want to buy one off me, this one's available, $47 at a, just email me and I can sell it to you because it's totally useless for outdoor shooting. So we're going to change it now. We're going to use a silver reflector. This is a smaller reflector, which is going to be less soft because it's not as big as the other one. And being the silver surface, it's going to reflect more light. A silver reflector and a white reflector aren't really going to make a lot of difference if they're the same size. They're going to be pretty much the same light. But because this one's smaller, it's going to give us a slightly harder light, but it's going to give us more light. So we're going to decrease the power of our flash to compensate for that. So I'm going to go down to about half power. Remember, quarter power was direct flash. Full power was the large reflector, the white. Now we're going to go halfway. Half power with our silver reflector. Gee, I ramble on a lot. Just to get technical here, our angle of incidence on our flash, so the angle that the light hits the flash is the same as the angle that it reflects off. So again, it's a physical principle. So we need to try and get that silver reflector aimed halfway between where the flash is and where Kaylee is. So we get that light on her rather than on the steps. So we're just going to turn it around this way a little bit, Steph. Yep, so that should be fine. And up a little bit higher. Yeah, that's it. Cool. Okay, here we go. Turn our flash down to half power. There we go. Once again, Kaylee, turn your face this way for me. Yeah, great. Okay, there we go. So this is basic flash, at its most basic, pretty much. We're reflecting that light off the reflector to soften it down onto Kaylee. Now we're going to look for a surface that we can reflect that light off onto Kaylee. And we've got one just here. We've got a concrete wall. We're going to do that.
I'll get it one day.
Just get one hand over the other way and just twist it like that. And that. We'll do it. Okay. I'm going to make a video on how to fold up reflectors one day. So now we're going to use this wall to reflect light back onto Kaylee. This wall is not completely white. It's not even grey. It's a little bit warmer than grey. So it's going to reflect a little bit of warmth back onto Kaylee, but that's okay. We can either correct it later or we can just be happy with that. So we're making a small light source into a large one, reflecting back onto Kaylee. Okay, here we go. Just turn your face a little bit that way. Yeah, that's it. Eyes to the camera. Yep, here we go. Okay. Wonderful. Beautiful soft light. Now, I need to be careful that I don't have this light down too low. It's at Kaylee's eye level or a little bit above, which is fine. If I had it down too low, it's going to uplight her face, which we don't want. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get closer into the wall. That will do a couple of things. If I move my camera closer to the wall, it's going to decrease the size of that reflecting light, so it's going to be slightly harder. And it's also going to increase the power of the light because it doesn't have to travel quite so far. So I'm going to turn it down again, go down to quarter power. There we go. Make sure that we're getting that in the right spot. Aim it upwards a little bit and reframe my shot. That's it. Okay, focused. Here we go. Okay, ready, Kaylee? Okay. Lovely. Now, it's difficult to see, but that light is going to be a little bit harder. The shadows are going to be a little bit more distinct than the previous shot. Of course, I could use a snoot or a grid on my flash to concentrate that light beam a little bit more to make that light a bit harder onto Kaylee as well. So there are a number of different ways we can control how hard or how soft that light is when we bounce it off something. So what we're going to do here is soften this light down with the scrim. We're going to use our flash on top of the camera. We're going to tilt it upwards and hold the scrim in front of it to give us beautiful, soft frontal light onto Kaylee's face. This is what you might call half clamshell light. It's going to light her with a large light source just from above her eyes, and it's going to be a beautiful, flattering beauty light. Okay, Steph, what we're going to do here is we're going to hold this up there. We're going to tilt our flash up this way to fill up that light. Might move it a little bit further forward, yeah? That's it. And we're going to shoot it like that. Here we go, Kaylee, eyes to the camera. Okay, wonderful. You got that, Steph? Okay, that looks great. Beautiful, soft frontal light onto Kaylee's face. And we're going to do this in a number of different ways as well. Up here now. Yep, that's it. Okay. All right, here we go. Yep, that's good, and one more. Okay, terrific. Thanks, Steph. Yeah, that's great. It hasn't started raining. What we're going to do is use this white umbrella to soften the light on Kaylee. Very similar to how we used the scrim earlier. We're just going to place this white umbrella in front of the flash. The flash is going to fill up that white umbrella and it's going to light Kaylee. Now, because this umbrella is a little bit thicker than the scrim, we're going to have to turn up our flash a little bit just to compensate for that loss of light. Okay, so we turn it up. Going to go up to half power. I could do this on my own, Steph, thanks. Not that I don't need you anymore, but you know, I can handle some things on my own. Okay, so Kaylee, just looking at the camera, yep, here we go. Okay, wonderful. Check that. Yeah, it's still a little bit too powerful, so I'm going to drop it down a little bit. Once again, obviously I need to make sure that this umbrella is not covering my lens. It's just above my lens. So here we go, Kaylee. Lovely. Yeah, around to the front for me again, please. Yep. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right. Lovely soft light on Kaylee. Now we're going to use a silver umbrella. And of course, it's no good shooting through your silver umbrella because the light won't penetrate. So we need to use it as a reflective umbrella. So we're going to do the same thing. Hold this up behind our flash. Turn it around that way, up, and that's going to be our light source. So I need to reframe this shot. Just stay there, Kaylee. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, just push that little bit of hair back. Yep, okay. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. Terrific. Now I didn't have to adjust the power on that flash because the silver umbrella, even though it reflects more, was back about 1 metre further away from Kaylee than the white one was. So that took care of our exposure difference. So I'm just going to do a quick shot here of Kaylee up against this wall. Now you notice that there's a window behind her. If I normally shot flash directly into a window, I'm going to get a reflection of the light back off that window. So Kaylee, can you just step to the side for me, out of the window? So if I shoot this, yeah, that's it, good. If I shoot that, I'm going to get my flash reflecting straight back onto me. So there's two things I can do. I can move my camera and my flash off to the side a little so that reflection's not going straight in and straight out of the window, or I can put something in front of it. The something that we have today is Kaylee. So I'm going to put her in front of the window, so that's going to negate that really bright flare. So Kaylee, can you move in front again, please? Okay, that's great. Now I'm using direct on-camera flash here. So we're down on 1/16 power. Okay, there we go. I shot 2 because I knew it was going to be a good shot. So there we go. It reduces that flare from that window, so be careful. Anytime you're shooting towards a piece of glass or reflective surface, move off axis a little so that light's not going to flare straight back into your lens. All right, now, the reason why we've got Kaylee standing there is because we're going to do a bounce light off our reflector. So here we're going to just use the large scrim. Even though it's a scrim, it still works as a reflector because it's white. It doesn't reflect quite as much as a normal reflector would, but it still works quite well. So we're going to have Steph hold that reflector up to the side so that's going to reflect that light back onto Kaylee. Okay, Steph, so you're standing up halfway between the two of us. Yep. Aiming it around this way. Yep, a little bit higher because Kaylee's standing up. Yep, now I'm going to aim my flash over this way. And because we're shooting such a distance and using that reflector, I need to turn up the power of my flash once again. So I'm going to go up to half power, just as a guess, and see how we go. Okay, Kaylee, just turn your face that way a little bit. Yep, because that's where the light's coming from. Here we go. Okay, good. I shot 2 again because I knew it was going to be a great shot. Yep, that's softened that light down as compared to the direct flash. So we'll do one again, just turning this way a bit, Steph. Yep, that's it. Here we go. Okay, yeah, softer light. It's still fairly in-your-face light. It's direct light, but it's coming from that large light source, so it's not quite as hard as it would be from the small light source. Steph, we'll get you over here, please. Kaylee, you're back there. You're Kaylee and she's Steph. Yeah, okay, that's good. So we're going to have you up here, and this light's going to reflect off here, and that's going to reflect back onto Kaylee. Now I'm going to do this shot tripodless. I'm going to do it without the tripod because it's going to be a little bit of a hassle getting my camera in the right position. So we're doing a full length shot of Kaylee, so we need to have overall coverage of light. I've got Steph here with the scrim, which we're using as a reflector. I'm going to position my camera where I want to shoot, and I'm just going to turn my flash to the position where Steph is, and that's going to light that scrim. The light's going to fall back onto Kaylee. One problem I have is, say if you were Kaylee, you're our model for the day. If I'm doing this and I'm angling my flash, you can see a proportion of this light here. So we're going to get a proportion of direct flash straight onto you, onto our model. I don't want that. I want all soft light on my model. So I need to cover up this so that light's not directing onto you. It's only directing straight onto our scrim. And I'll show you how I do it. Okay, so you're the model again. I've got my black piece of card here to stop this direct light coming and hitting you, but this light will still go over and light the scrim, which will give me a perfectly soft light on Kaylee. Little piece of card, black paper, doesn't cost you anything, but there's so many uses for this little piece of black card. I'm going to make a video about a little piece of black card in the future. Okay, Steph, you're holding that up again for me, please. Just focus on Kaylee. We've got a full length shot. That's it. Wonderful. Here we go. Yes. Yes. Lovely. Steph, can you hold it up higher, please? Because we need that. Oh, yep. That's it. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Terrific. Beautiful light on Kaylee. Now we're going to get into the weird stuff. We've got Kaylee against this wall. I'm going to shoot her with direct on-camera flash to start with, but then I'm going to change the direction that light hits Kaylee. How can I change the direction if my flash is on my camera? You'll see. Just be patient. Okay, Kaylee, we're just going to do a shot here, just focusing. Okay, here we go. All right. Yeah, lovely. You can see that it's quite a flattering light coming directly from the front, but it's on-camera flash, which is fine, but I want to change the direction of that light. The way I'm going to do it is with a mirror. Steph, if you can come in here, please. I want you to hold that vertically. Yep, I want you to hold it up in front of your face. That's it. Now I'm going to aim my flash directly at that mirror, which is going to be hard because I shoot this way. We're going to get Steph on the other side of me. And the light from my flash is going to reflect in that mirror and come in on Kaylee from a different direction. Okay, quite simple. It's not easy to do that. We need to make sure that that light's going to be hitting Kaylee. The way we do that is to ask Kaylee to make sure she can see my flash in the mirror. If she can see my flash in the mirror, it means that light's going to come directly onto her. We'll see how we go. I've never done this before, but I know it's going to work. So I'm going to zoom my flash in so we get a smaller pool of light. Okay, and I'm going to make sure that my light is turned towards that. Now Kaylee, you direct Steph or move yourself so you can see my flash in that mirror. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, lovely. Eyes to me. Okay, that's good. Once again, that looks great. Yep. Just turn your face towards that light. Yeah, that's it. Eyes to me. Okay. Terrific. You can see the angle of that light has changed. It looks like we're using off-camera flash. Steph, can you go further around to the side? Around that way? Yep. That's it. Okay, again, Kaylee. Yep. That's okay. Can you see the flash in that mirror? Okay, here we go again. Yes. Wonderful. If I zoom back, you'll be able to see the edges of that mirror. But we're going to zoom in close so we don't notice that. Just tilt it down slightly. Steph, yeah? Bit too far. Yep, that's it. Okay, here we go. Good. Turn the face around that way. Sorry, I keep saying that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay. Terrific. On-camera flash, changing the direction of that light. It looks brilliant. I'm brilliant. No, I'm going to cut that bit out. Okay, now we're going to lift that up a little bit more. We're going to make it a little bit more interesting. Now I've got this cut-out piece of black paper. I'm going to ask Steph to hold this on the mirror, and this is going to reflect this pattern back onto Kaylee. Again, we need to make sure that Kaylee can see my flash when it's reflected in the mirror through one of these holes, and that means that light's going to be on her face. Okay, hold it vertically again if you can. There you go. You all right? Yep. Okay, now, can you see my flash in any of those holes there, Kaylee? I'll hold my camera here.
Hold it a tiny bit this way. Back.
Well, Steph can hold it and you can move yourself.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, lovely. Here we go. Eyes to me. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Now, can you see that flash in the mirror?
No. There we go.
Okay, lovely. All right. That's it. Once again. Yeah, that's cool. So just hold it in one spot. And Kaylee, I want you to look and see if you can see my flash in that one. Okay, just move yourself. Just lift it up.
There we go.
Just check again and make sure it's in the hole. Okay, nice. Yep. Oops. Okay. Okay, here we go. Yep. Okay. Great. Cool. Thank you very much. So, we just got a mirror, $20 mirror with a black cutout card in front of it, and that reflects that pattern onto Kaylee. It's a little bit tricky to line up properly, but it works a treat. Okay, we're going to finish off just with a direct flash. Excuse the birds, it's 6 o'clock in the evening, so the birds come in and make a lot of racket. We're just going to use on-camera flash for this last one, a little bit of a retro fashion-y sort of a look. A lot of people are loving this on-camera flash look because they didn't live in the 80s, as I did, so it's new to them. But we're just going to do that with a little bit of building in the background, so you'll see this result, and that'll be the last shot we do. Okay, over here please, Kaylee. Yeah, that's it. Same pose, yep. Okay. Here we go. Okay, zooming in. Okay, one more. Just get down lower, just look out over my head, yep. Okay, wonderful. All right, that's it, thanks. Now, one huge advantage of using a zoom lens when you're using on-camera flash is that I can zoom in and out like I just did then, and my flash power doesn't change. My exposure is exactly the same because I'm keeping the same distance from my subject. So even though I zoom in to get a headshot of Kaylee or zoom out to do a full length shot, the light hasn't changed the distance from the light to the subject. So my exposure is exactly the same. If I had a prime lens, it would be a pain in the neck. Every time I walk forward to crop it, I'd have to decrease my flash power. So zoom lenses rule, okay? All right, that's great. Thank you, Kaylee. Terrific. So if you want to learn more about on-camera flash, have a look at this video. It's all about shooting on-camera flash indoors. Or have a look at this one next to me. This one's all about using your pop-up flash. I'm sure you'll sit there with your mouth open. It looks amazing. See you next time. Whew, that's going to take a lot of editing.